everyone. So it's Friday night. I'm getting ready to go out. I'm feeling tired. But before I go out, I got to pregame. And the only way I pregame is with an ice cold Bud Light. So good. Happy Friday.
All right, that was not the video that I want you to hear, but that was funny.
I was listening intently.
Yeah, me too. He looks really great like that.
Looks normal.
He kind of just fell into that dress.
Yeah.
All right, this is the video that I want you to hear. Now you got to listen close. Please bear with us for this commercial break. Yes, sorry, Joe. Listen close to this. Tell me what you think.
All right.
The local media every day, you can't have a fair trial.
Well, the reason, I think time is going to remember January 6th differently. Yeah. Right now, people are still, there's two things. Media needs stuff to fill. I mean, if you watch TV on January 6th, it was like January 6th, 24/7. As time goes on, it's going to be less. Yeah. And so I think also people are going to lose their office, the jobs. The people that were there are going to lose their jobs. So it's not going to mean anything if you weren't even there and you don't even care.
We need like a war to break out.
Yeah, no, right, Okay, I thank you for your time.
Oh, absolutely.
Listen, I really, I know you're not the bad guy. I mean, if there is, I haven't found the bad guy yet, but if there is, I know you're not the bad guy.
I mean, he's like a stereotypical bad guy.
But the thing is, why I asked you the question of like, so what was the plan? Is that if there was an insurrection, you were supposed to be in line marching. You're in the military, you know this.
No, that's
you were supposed to have a plan.
Exactly. It's called operations order. You sit down overnight with your soldiers. You go over. All right, you're gonna go here. You're gonna go in by this side. At this time, we're gonna take over this. There was none of that.
If there was an insurrection, it's the sorriest insurrection in the 20th, 21st century ever. No guns.
A guy smoking pot.
I love the guy.
Yeah, I like.
Well, we did that. We just went to New Hampshire last week for the guy that just was drinking beer.
My favorite guy.
Fantastic.
That's supposedly Pelosi's daughter talking about January 6th and the so-called insurrection.
Yeah. Well, I think we all knew it was bullshit.
Well, and that's what I know people that were there.
Okay.
And they said it was bullshit.
Right.
And they said that it was a bunch of people that kind of were just doing their own thing.
Well, again, you're not going to retry it now, and the Dems definitely got their way and got people jailed unnecessarily and whatever, but,
There's people still in jail over what happened on January 6th. But I know people that were there and they saw officers letting people in, removing barricades. People were walking around the Capitol and, was it right for them to do it? Of course not. But was it an insurrection? Was it people trying to overthrow the government? You saw the one guy that had the horns on his head. You saw the video of him just walking through the Capitol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, dude, I've always thought of it as just bullshit, and I'd be honest, I didn't pay that much attention to it. It's funny, because what was the vote that they were voting on that day? Was they voting on something that day, or?
I don't know.
Or was it just Trump lost and Biden was that
had to certify the election? I think it was.
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff,
there was something going on with that, and otherwise I would have never had it on TV. And I just remember I turned it on, like I flipped it on, and there was like guys with their guns drawn in the where they vote and stuff, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? And I didn't, and then they just showed guys walking around and stuff, and I was like, whoa, what is this? I didn't pay that much attention. When I started hearing about that, they were saying that it was like this insurrection. My only thought was, well, what the hell was going on all summer when they were burning the place down? Was that an insurrection on our cities? Because they sure as hell burned the place down.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I watched that video a couple of times, and it sounds like Pelosi's daughter saying, well, really an insurrection. It wasn't.
There was nothing.
It wasn't.
Yeah. Well, you'll never
But if you
convince
talk to half the country, they're going to say, "No, you're crazy." They're trying to overthrow the government, take over, and it was going to be anarchy, across the U.S. But
yeah, whatever. I mean, at this point, it's it's a moot point until next election when we have another one allegedly happen.
I saw Mike Pence joined the ranks today of people running for president, and I don't understand why. I don't understand.
I'm sure he'll make a great candidate for 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, stop asking questions, believe what we say, and go sit down. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I personally saw walk off the bus, sit by the Capitol. He was not at the rally. Well, that's the other thing that I've seen videos of, and people have told me that were there, that there were actually buses of signs and trucks full of stuff that pulled up, and long before Trump said march peacefully, oh by the way, and patriotically to the Capitol, which is what he said, peacefully, that stuff was already pulling up near the Capitol. People were getting stuff out, and I mean, somebody was ready to go with stuff.
Sure.
It wasn't a Trump-inspired thing. This was ready to go.
Yeah. Well, and again, I'm just going back to what I said before. I personally can't give a shit about this because no one gave a shit about the country being torn down when they were burning the cities down. You can bring up that they were ready to go there. I'll bring up back when they were burning the cities down how there were truckloads or pallets being dropped off full of bricks in cities. Yeah. And nobody tends to bring that up anymore either. Nobody wants to talk about that they were organized enough to have pallets full of bricks delivered to the right places in the right cities that were going up in flames. Fuck out of here with this nonsense. It's all nonsense.
When police stations were burned to the ground, when people were hurt and shot, and those were real insurrections. Cities were taken over.
Yeah.
How about what was it, Portland, where people just took over blocks and blocks of the
made
city,
their own city,
made their own government, their own city inside of an American city.
Yeah, and the government, the true government of that state, just said, whatever, can't get in their way.
But those are protests, and those are okay, and you're allowed to do that. You can do whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Burn shit down, shoot at people, create your own government, your own city.
Yeah,
where
do whatever
people,
you want.
by the way, we're getting raped in the middle of these so-called new government cities.
Mm-hmm.
People were getting hurt.
Well, maybe you get a counselor instead of a police officer to go and talk them down. Hey, stop raping that lady.
What about
she doesn't like it?
January 6th, can't find him.
Yeah, where'd he go? There's always been this kind of shit. And I don't want to put on my conspiracy hat, but I think it goes all the way. I've been down the JFK rabbit hole this week. I think it starts there. I think when you see JFK, where they were able to whack somebody in broad daylight with 100,000 people live watching, I think when they were able to do that, they were like, we can do whatever the hell we want. And they do.
Yeah, the government can actually do whatever the hell they want to do.
And they do. That's the part. Dude, how about when they put up the fence around our property? Right after the election, when they put up the big fence so nobody could get onto our property. We pay for that property.
Yeah.
They don't have the right to tell us that we're not allowed to. That'd be like putting a fence around your house and saying you can't go there. You're not welcome in your house.
They're never going to try to stop getting Trump for something. They are afraid Trump will get rid of all corrupt in the government and make this country great again.
Right.
I don't know what they're afraid of as far as making it great again. I think they are afraid of what any outsider, forget even Trump, what any outsider could actually show what's going on inside the government.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there has been corruption forever today.
Oh, yeah.
And you get somebody outside that's going to expose some of it, who's not corrupted by the entire thing, then, you're going to have a problem.
Well, yeah. I mean, bottom line is he affects the money. A guy
Yeah.
like Trump affected the money directly. He affected their, him saying drain the swamp. To all of us, it meant one thing. To all of us, watching, it was like, yeah, get rid of these corrupt assholes. To all of them in there, in the political arena, that was like, hey, this guy's cutting off our finances. He's cutting off our ability to form what do they call those? SPAC or whatever?
Right.
He's cutting off our ability to raise money that we can pocket 80% of. He's cutting off our ability to be lobbied. He's cutting off our coin.
There are so many conspiracy theories out there, man. We're going to have the Flat Earth guy on again sometime soon because I want him to get the respect that he deserves. I want him to get his platform to talk about what he wants to talk about.
Absolutely.
And he sent me a video over the weekend. I think it was very interesting. So we're going to have him on shortly.
Okay.
He's actually, if you know Flat Earth guy, otherwise known as Plain Truth guy,
yeah,
he is a very special individual, not because of what he believes, but because he is a religious man. He's a kind man, and just a good all-around guy.
Sure.
You may think he's crazy because you don't agree with what he says, which is fine. But you got to give him the respect that he deserves.
Sure.
I don't think he got that the last time he was here. And so we're going to have him on again. But there are so many conspiracies out there, some of which, that's the problem, I think. You have so many conspiracies. Tony is distracting the hell out of me because he keeps on this hot girl that's like standing next to him. If you can hear me, he's like there's a really cute chick standing with him.
It's his videographer.
Yeah, I keep looking at her, and then Tony's face jumps in the middle. And we're going to go to Tony in a little bit. Hopefully she's there. But conspiracies, man, there are so many conspiracies.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I saw one the other day on TikTok where they talked about the
now
challenge.
You can't talk at all because she's on the screen.
Look at her. Look at her. Come on. She's not. Yeah, Tony did it on purpose.
He did.
All right. But the Challenger, you know the Challenger space
Yeah,
shuttle?
sure.
So the conspiracy is that it never blew up. Well,
Okay.
it blew up, but nobody was on it.
It was empty?
It was empty because this video shows all the astronauts that were on that shuttle
Yeah.
now living their lives all over the country. And this person, whoever did this video, went to these people's homes and was like videotaping them. They go under the same names and stuff. And you can see that they've obviously aged how many years it's been since the Challenger. And, your mind starts going, all right, maybe this is real. But most of these conspiracies are not real.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. I won't believe that. I think that's crazy. But I do think that the government is actually doing a lot of crazy stuff behind our backs that we don't know.
Of course they are. Well, they do it under the guise of people will argue back and forth, and they can get away with it. They can get their benefit from it without having to, again, going back to what we said before about consequences. If you're going to be called crazy, a lot of people won't question. If people say, oh, you're crazy for believing that the earth is flat, well, then a lot of people that might believe that will just be like, oh, I better not say that. I don't want people to think I'm crazy. It's the consequence.
How about Gary the Numbers Guy? Gary, I've tried to reach out on Twitter, and I have not heard back from him. So I don't know where he's at. Breaking news, poor air quality in the Northeast forces postponement of White Sox, Yankees, Tigers, Phillies, and who cares about the Lynx Liberty? But, yeah.
Lynx Liberty is canceled?
Canceled.
Are you kidding
postponed.
me? What are those 35 people going to do?
I don't know. Their night is shot.
Damn.
But yeah, some of these baseball games, some of this smoke stuff, maybe that's a conspiracy. Yeah. No, it's just a fire. But here we're actually getting some of this crazy.
We
smoke.
might be having it because I've been coughing all show, and I don't know why. I'm not sick. I don't have a cold or anything. Maybe I'm breathing in the smoke.
I mean, I'm looking out here and it could be all right. I don't know. The sun is shining bright and looks all right. But if you have smoke in your yard, let us know.
Yeah, let us hear it.
But I don't know what conspiracies I believe and what conspiracies I don't believe. I do believe that Kennedy was not shot by Oswald.
You don't believe the Warren Commission?
No. No way in the world do I believe that garbage happened.
Dude, there is a spectacular, and I don't know who put it up there, but you can look it up on YouTube. It's a 7-part series. I've been watching it all week. It's long as hell. But it's the 3 major networks. It's their entire coverage of from when John F. Kennedy when they first announced that he was shot.
Yeah.
Until they stopped broadcasting that he was shot. Because they all went like 24/7 for a while, for like a day.
Yeah.
And it's just their coverage. It's Cronkite and all his news people, and it's the other 2 channels. It is fascinating to see how different things are now. From like Cronkite as an example. They were not even, because they did all their shows like live or whatever.
Right.
They just used the same stages, and then they would just move everything off and put up the next stage. So when Kennedy was shot, they couldn't even go to like live. They were doing like kind of like a broadcast, like audio with a screen over it for a while.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden they show them start talking, and it's just a bunch of desks like sitting all next to each other with the phones ringing and stuff, because they had to. They didn't have a quote unquote newsroom to go to broadcast from. Yeah. So you got people running in and out and stuff going, hey, I just came back from down the street, and we were down there and we saw the bullets. It's crazy. They're bringing people in off the street, carrying their babies and stuff. It's really wild to watch.
I think it was the banks and the 1%. No. I'm pretty sure that there is a big conspiracy, though, when it comes to the Kennedy thing. I'm trying to think of other conspiracies that I believe. I just got a message from Flat Earth guy.
Okay.
He said, love you, Seth. 33 confirmed conspiracy theories proven true. But
he has, or there have been?
He said there has been. He says, do not have internet working today, but we're going to get him on.
All right.
We'll talk about the conspiracies and the Flat Earth, which is another.
Yeah. We're going to start getting into all this stuff. We got the mob guy coming on in a week.
That's right. Mob guy coming on.
Yeah, Scott
2 weeks, right?
2 weeks. Yeah, the 19th.
2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
We have a mob guy on. On Monday, we have Julia
Poorman
coming on.
Yeah.
Another new music moment for a different audience.
Different style.
Be, entertaining. We'll talk to her. People are talking about the smoke. You can see the smoke around downtown from 490. To be honest, I thought it was just a burning brush. Nope. It was hazy as heck this morning in Akron as I drove to work. Joe Rico, I have a nice sky full of smoke in my town 100 miles north of New York City.
Wow.
I'm telling you, the East Coast is getting hammered with this smoke. I mean, if you saw, I was watching Fox before it came up here.
Right.
And to do the show, and man, the smoke behind them in downtown in Manhattan is ridiculous. They showed like a skyline shot, and it's just bright orange.
Wow.
Smoke. You couldn't even see the skyline barely.
It's like 9/11 again.
And honestly, you know what's weird though? Now that I think about it, I remember driving around yesterday going, my eyes were burning.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, I had the window down and everything. My eyes were burning, and then the sun was like a weird orange, hazy kind of sun. So that's got to be what I was seeing.
Yeah, it probably was.
Chris, did you see the interview with the young couple who said a bullet whizzed by their heads from the fence on the grassy knoll?
I did. Dude, I've watched. I'm on part 7, so I've literally watched probably 100 hours of Kennedy being shot in the last week. It is just. I've watched every single person that they brought in, and what's crazy to see about that stuff is everybody except the broadcasters, and it's so obvious now, but watching it in real time, it probably wasn't obvious at all. Every report at the beginning was people are running up the knoll to find the shooter.
Yeah.
And like everybody, all the people, there was nobody running to the book depository. Everybody was running up that hill to go catch the shooter. And everybody was, even the people that dropped, they dropped facing the knoll so they could see if the guy was come running down the hill.
Yeah, we'll ask the mob guy about the Kennedy because I'm convinced
absolutely.
that the mob definitely had something to do with that whole thing.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no doubt about it. Kennedy pissed off a lot of people.
Giancana, yeah.
So,
Yeah, and they were banging the same girls.
all right, Joe, I'm going to tell you this. Flat Earth is hilarious. I mean, we literally have pics of the Earth from space. The Flat Earth guy will convince you otherwise, Joe. He actually can prove the fact that those images that you say we have from space, yes, the Earth is round, but it's a disc that's flat. So you listen to that show, Joe, and I'm telling you, you're going to be changed.
Or at least you'll understand the point. You may not agree with it, but where am I finding? It's on YouTube. Oh, I could tell you. Let me log into my YouTube, and I'll tell you exactly the channel name that did it.
I'm trying to think of other conspiracies that are out there that would be huge. We could do a whole show on conspiracies,
Dude. And I'd be all in on that. I would definitely be thrilled to do that with you because I love this stuff. Where is this? God damn it! I gotta log into my account. Hold on.
What does this mean? What is a Carcano?
That's the gun.
Well,
I own a Carcano, the bolt action rifle. Yeah, it was a garbage rifle. It definitely
9/11. That's another thing that people have come out and said is a conspiracy. I watched a video just the other day. Ironically enough, Mike sent it to me. A video of it was apparently only showed one time of a reporter that was standing outside of the Pentagon.
Right.
After the plane supposedly hit. And that reporter said he saw nothing. No remnants of any plane hitting, no debris from a plane, no wings, no wheels, no nothing from a plane hitting the Pentagon.
Really?
Now, I mean, if you look at the angle of which that plane would have had to hit, you think that, it would have been more catastrophic than it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know.
think so. But, dude, I mean, look.
I've read stories about 9/11 where they say that we blew up those buildings.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched everything on 9/11 as well. I interviewed the guy that made the Loose Change movie at one point because I love a good conspiracy. I don't necessarily believe all of them, but I love a good conspiracy. And yeah, man, there's 9/11. You can be convinced fairly easily that 9/11 was a straight inside job. I think there's more to it than a bunch of goofy, bunch of goofy guys loaded up on 4 planes and took them over. I think there's more to it than that. I think there's.
Well, why would our government fly our own planes into those buildings?
Why would they?
I mean, there's no doubt that the planes at least flew into the trade centers. I mean, we saw those happen.
Yeah,
I saw it happen live. So I mean, obviously the planes flew into the buildings.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that, but the buildings themselves become the distraction for Building 7, which fell with nothing hitting it.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you ever watch that looks like a demolition. That looks like a straight demolition, and nothing hit that building. And but wasn't there was something in that building like an intelligence operation, had a whole floor of that building or something that got completely wiped out in Building 7.
Because obviously there were 4 planes taken over.
Yes.
I mean, the plane that went down in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. Again, I guess maybe the Pentagon plane is up for, debate on whether it hit the Pentagon. I mean, again, one reporter that I saw said that there was no debris.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I really don't. I don't have an answer other than I enjoy that conspiracy more than anything, and I've watched everything there is on 9/11.
They wanted control, and the people that owned the buildings wanted them down. They were outdated.
See, I've heard that too. The one guy, the guy that owned the trade centers, absolutely did not wanted to get out of it, and he couldn't. Maybe there were 4 planes. Yeah, I mean,
Man, if that ever came out that this was a conspiracy by our own government of some sort to, stage 9/11 and that many people died, God help us all. If our government is that powerful, which I guess they could be,
they could be.
man, we got a problem.
Dude, there's always that theory, too, about the no plane hit the Pentagon.
Yeah.
That's the one that and Shanksville are way more believable to me than the trade centers. There's just too much video, and I know you could fake the video, but there's just too much video about showing the trade centers getting hit.
Yeah, but the trade centers did get hit, but I guess the question would be, did the government
Sanction
implode them
it
afterwards?
Well, I guess if you ask what's his name, Jesse Ventura, he'll tell you it's the thermite paint, brother. It's the thermite paint that was melting the girders.
Now, I'm going to say this though. I will never show disrespect. Mm-hmm. I've been to that site
Sure.
where the trade centers are, and I will never show disrespect to say that. That kind of. The main thing is that a lot of people died.
Yeah.
And no matter what happened, it was a tragedy in our country, and God rest their soul,
agree.
man, because it was insane.
I wouldn't want to be crushed by 119 floors of building.
Yeah. And I don't want to look into conspiracies because, again, I have too much respect for the people that went into those buildings, the firefighters, the police, and everything else. They all did their jobs, and again, man, it was a terrifying day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know when it's too soon, even though it's been decades.
25 years.
But it still
22 years,
seems too soon to me, considering
It's always
we
gonna
all
say-
watched it live. And
Dude, ask your grandfather about Pearl Harbor, and he'll tell you it's too soon.
yeah,
If you lived through it, it's too soon. It always feels that way.
is it not that the towers were not at capacity because many companies closed offices for that day for different reasons?
I don't remember who asked the question, but here's the YouTube channel. Vince Palomara has this 7-part thing on JFK.
Yeah,
So you can
All
look
right.
him up.
Vince Palomara. All right.
Yeah. So
Just imagine the crap they do around the world we never hear about.
I'm sure. I'm positive of that. I'm positive of that from when I served in the military. It's all kinds of shit you don't hear about happening. One of the things that I could definitely talk about this because it's not really classified information. It's just you don't hear about it. The DMZ between North and South Korea?
Yeah.
There's like 25 people gunned down a year there. You never hear about it. You never hear nothing about it. But there's like 25 people killed per year on that DMZ.
Yeah.
That's
It's
every
crazy.
year since the 50s. How many people is that from, was that 70 years? What's 70 times 20? 1,400? Maybe? I'm terrible at math. Is that 1,400 people?
Me too.
I think that's 1,400 people. 1,400 people killed. Never heard a word of it till I just said it.
Flat Earth guy sent me an email with like 33 conspiracy theories. The unfortunate part is, Flat Earth guy, is that it contains images that are blocked and cannot be looked at on my computer. I don't know why, but there's a lot there. They're gonna have to resend it somehow.
We'll find a way.
The government paid those people in those planes to destroy them, and give people enough money, they'll do anything. Okay, well, if they paid them on planes to destroy them, they died. What are they doing with the money?
Well, there's dude. I mean, it just depends. If we really want to go down the 9/11 conspiracy rabbit hole, I'm game to do it. I'll do that. We need to find us a guest. Like I could probably get the loose change guy to come back on, but there's always that theory that Cleveland's a part of that. That because remember there was the plane that landed in Cleveland, and then the conspiracy theory there is they landed in Cleveland and they all the people got off the plane, and then they sent the plane, and then the plane went into the building, or Shanksville, or one of them. I forget which one, but I mean, we could go down that road if you want.
I mean, there was also that Malaysia plane that was missing. Remember that? Mm-hmm. That never came up.
Well, dude, at one point there was like 15 planes that were missing. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember every time, because I was listening to the radio, stuck in traffic trying to get home, and every 2 minutes it was like, now there's another plane over Austin, Texas, and now there's this, and now there's that, and dude, do you remember how they
9/11, man? Yeah, 9/11 was crazy with what was going on. Nobody knew what the hell was happening.
Yeah, there was tons of things that just were magically disappeared. Like, remember at first they were saying that they found a car with a map and
Oh yeah,
the Quran. It had a Quran, a map, and like airline ticket receipts. Like total obvious setup stuff, and then that all went away. You never heard about that again after 9/11. That whole thing, you never saw that car being towed or anything. That just went away. There was all kinds of different bullshit that was said on 9/11.
There's a lot of conspiracies that have magically gone away that you never really heard of. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember there were so many. I mean, when you talk about conspiracies, though, you run the risk of being disrespectful towards the people that died. I mean, that's what you run into, because and I hate doing that. I don't like to be that guy. But I remember even like the Vegas shooting.
Yeah,
we talked about that on the show, and it was around for like a day and a half, and then all of a sudden there wasn't anything more on it.
Yeah, it just went away.
Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating. Man, it might have been like
it was about a week,
less than a week.
Yeah,
and it was gone, and you never heard anything else about it.
And meanwhile, the guy fired 1,000 rounds or something into a concert.
Into a concert. Yeah. And I mean, it should out of a Vegas hotel room. Mm-hmm. I mean, how something like that was even able to happen is a conspiracy in itself.
Well, and how did we never even see
and all this kind of?
And how did we never even see a photo of this guy?
Yeah,
we never saw him at all. Just not. I mean, we saw like some weird CCTV footage of him, of his back walking into the hotel or whatever, which that could have been anybody. You never saw anything with that guy.
Always have respect for those that died. First responders, they didn't know anything, of course. Mm-hmm. But again, you have to question some of the stuff that goes on. I don't understand that Vegas shooting, and Triv and I talked about it all the time, saying, I don't understand how this didn't. How is this not a story for like a month with that kind of thing that happened? I don't know.
Yeah.
Benghazi.
Benghazi did another one. There's all kinds of them, dude.
Epstein didn't kill himself. We got like 6 months worth of shows coming up with just conspiracies.
I'm game. We'll do those on Odyssey, man. Because we do them here on YouTube. We'll get the whole fucking channel shut down. But if we do them on Odyssey, we'll do them like as Odyssey exclusives or something for the
we're gonna
for the subscribers.
Yeah, you have to subscribe to the Odyssey channel.
That's right. If you subscribe there, there's going to be extra content all over the place, and this stuff would be good for that.
Yeah, you're going to see footage that it will not be able to be done here.
Yeah, on YouTube.
So you will Odyssey. How do you spell that?
ODYSEE. I spell it thesethwilliamsshow.com. Go there and click the link for support the show.
ODYSEE.
Yep.
Yeah, and then but make sure go to this all right. I'm not much of a typer, man. I'm gonna have to go there and subscribe to the Odyssey channel and everything else. Yeah. And there's going to be extra content for you.
Yeah, just click the support the show link.
And believe me, this show it doesn't need support. We got plenty of support, but we'd love more support.
Yeah.
So
we'd like to get some. We'd like to make a couple of shekels here and there for doing this.
Yeah, Triv is living with Elvis. Yes. Well, Elvis is still alive, according to some people. So that is another conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Triv is still alive. Well, am I starting a new one?
I hear him in my head every day, yelling, "Seth!" So believe me. All right, let's take a quick break. I see Tony Masasha is hopefully ready to go.
Looks like he is.
So we're going to take a quick break. We'll go to Tony Masasha live. He's going to be, I believe, sipping the fruit of the gods.
Nice.
So we'll talk to him in just about 2 minutes. Hang on.
Okay.